Dear all, in this lecture video, I'll be discussing about the importance of transducer. First of all, I'll discuss what do you mean by transducer, then what is the process called transduction. Thereafter, I'll be discussing the importance and finally applications. So moving on to the discussion, what is the definition of transducer? So we can define transducer as follows. Number one, transducer is a device which transform energy from one form to another form. Okay, that is called transducer. And it is an input device, of course. It transforms a non-electrical quantity into electrical quantity. For example, it is going to convert non-electrical physical quantity into electrical signal. And also we can say that it provides output response to specific input measured, which may be in the form of physical quantity. So this is the basic information about transducer. Now, let us familiar the block diagram of transducer. And we have input signal, or you can call physical signal. Okay, physical input. And we'll be having the output signal. Okay, it is a measurable quantity. Output signal corresponding to the input signal. Let us see what are all the main components which are included in the transducer. So transducer comprises of a sensor unit and signal conditioning unit. Okay, the combination of sensor and the signal conditioning unit, that implies a transducer. It is very clear. Now let us understand what is the phenomenon which is known as transduction. It is the process of energy conversion in the transducer that is known as transduction. In fact, non-electrical quantity will be converted into electrical quantity. That phenomenon or that process can be called as transduction. So inside the transducer, the transduction phenomenon will be taken place. There are two processes which are involved in the case of transduction. The first step, by using the sensor, signal will be sensed. By sensing the signal and then strengthening it. How to strengthen the signal? By using the signal conditioning unit. There are different type of signal conditioning units are available. So sensing as well as signal conditioning will be taken place inside the transducer. So transduction involves the both sensing and signal conditioning process. Okay, this is the basic information about transduction phenomenon, and I have explained the block diagram of transducer also. Actually, we have to familiar a few more fundamental concepts on transducer. Usually, transducer employed at boundaries of automation, then measurement units and control systems. Anyway, for closed loop control system, we require a sensing unit. Okay, we have to measure what is the output. So output has to be measured and given back to the input, feedback. Okay, for feedback path, we require one transducer. In the area of automation, it is highly unavoidable. And the measurement units also we require transducer. Usually in case of electrical transducer, so mechanical energy will be converted into electrical signal. That is happening in case of the transducer. Electrical signal may be in the form of voltage, current, or sometimes frequency. Usually voltage and current, that will be the electrical signal. That means output of the transducer, normally voltage and current. Then how this process will be converted? And we have to familiar different type of process. For example, resistive effect, inductive effect, capacitive effect. For example, if I talk about strain gauge, it obeys based on the resistive principle. If I speak about LVDT, then that is belong to inductive phenomenon. Okay. Likewise, there are different sensors which will be operating under capacity effect. For example, dielectric based transducer that will be operating based on the capacity phenomenon. Okay. So these are the fundamental things you need to know regarding transducer. Let us list out the applications, the various applications of transducer. What are the major applications? In the area of biomedical engineering. So you can able to identify the movement of muscles by using one device that is called acceleromyograph. The main component of acceleromyograph is transducer. We require transducer in case of acceleromyograph. The movement of muscles that will be converted into electrical pulses. Then in case of engines, the transducer measures load on the engines. Load bearing capacity will be measured. Similarly, it is usually used in the field of automobile to check the engine knock. Similarly, transducer measure the pressure of gas and liquid by converting into electrical signal. So pressure transducers, that is popular, especially in the area of oxygen producing industry. Okay. Then it converts the temperature of device into electrical signal or mechanical work. So thermistor, use of thermistor in air conditioning unit. And biomedical application, this is highly unavoidable. The transducer used in the ultrasound machines. It receives the sound waves of the patient by emitting the sound waves and pass to the CPU and that particular computer. Okay, input will be sound waveform and output will be in the form of electrical signal that will be observed in the computer. Then transducer is used in the speaker for converting electrical signal into acoustic sound. And in the area of communication field, so antenna is one of the best example of transducer. It is going and what is happening in case of antenna? That means electromagnetic waves that will be converted into electrical signal with the help of antenna. Okay, so antenna is one of the transducer. These are the few applications we could list out. There are many more. Okay, so this is regarding the application. In this presentation, we have discussed what do you mean by transducer. Second thing, what is transduction? Then I could show you a simple block diagram on transducer. Afterwards, I have explained some basic concept on transducer. Eventually, I could list out a few applications of transducers. So, what is the difference between sensors and transducer? That we have to think. That presentation will be continued in the next session. Finally, thank you very much for watching this video.